This video covers what we call the code files. Throughout the whole of ProAssets, when you're setting up assets and it's asking you what type of asset it is or what group it belongs to or anything like that, we don't expect you to type in the description every single time. What we do is use a code number that is up to 6 characters long that represents a certain description. And all of the code files are on the left-hand side of the screen. So this video will cover the capturing of code files, anything in this side of the screen, and what I'll do is just concentrate on one or two of the areas. The capturing of the code files in, say, for example, insurers and suppliers and depreciation types is exactly the same as if you were capturing asset registers. What I will do is simply cover what each of the areas consists of. Let's go back to asset registers. If you click on asset registers, it will go into a screen that allows you to capture any asset register. Your asset systems or your assets can be broken up into various asset books. And an asset book is who actually paid for or owns that particular asset. So within your school, you might have a principal book, and you're going to put it under Prin, and then the description might be Princeton's. Let's delete that incorrect spelling, Princeton assets. But you might also want to set up other asset registers within the thing. For example, you might want to create one called Lost. And those are going to be your lost assets. And you might want to send up another one that is the governing body purchases. So you have governing, if I could spell properly, governing body. You can have any number of these books, but an asset can only belong to one of those particular types of books, and it's usually that entity within the school that actually purchased that particular asset. When you capture your data into these code files, you enter a code number and then its description. Whenever you are capturing an asset and it asks for, in this case, the asset register, you would simply type in one of those numbers there, and up next to it would pop the description of that particular area. In this case, it would pop up and say, this is the Princeton Assets Register that you're working in. You'll notice that on the left-hand side, there's a little column, and when I put in new ones, it put a I in front of it to say that I was about to insert that particular asset. If you went back and I amended the Princeton assets it had a spelling mistake in, it puts an A in front of it to say it's going to amend that record. And when you finish working on the screen, all you do is you click on the update button, and that area and those set of descriptions get written back to your database. If I go down the list, the asset registers and the areas in your school where we break down all the major areas of your school and a description of them, and the asset statuses, where we say how your asset, what is the status of a particular asset, and the types of assets, breaking up your assets into different types: the audio visual equipment, clothing store, computer equipment, electrical equipment, etc., etc. And the insurers and the suppliers and the depreciation and the types all work in exactly the same as when you were putting in the asset registers. If we go back to this screen here, we've looked at the indicators on that side there, and you'll see that now that I updated the information and you've come back into it, it says you have not done anything to any of this information here. If I was to add another one, let's go down and put in there the Western Cape Education Department and say that those belong to the Western Cape Education Department. You'll notice it puts an I in there to say that you are inserting that new asset. I'll click on Update. There are two slightly different programs for the capturing of codes, and that is your locations in an area and your groups of assets. If I go to the locations in an area, you must have set up the areas already. Now you go down to locations in an area, and when you put in the code number for a particular location, it will ask you in what area of the school does that location reside. Every single location, which is normally a room or a shed or something like that, only belongs to one area of the school. So in this particular thing, it works in exactly the same way. You put in a code number, you put in its description, and then you have to say what area that particular location is in, and it will come up with a location. If you're happy, then you click on Update. And the system will run through, and if you have made any changes in the locations, if I came along to, say, location number 12, and I said, no, its area is not the main area of the school, and I don't know the code number of the area I want to move it into, I could press the lookup button, and it would show me all of the areas that I can choose, and I could say, yes, it belongs to the new wing. And I select the new wing, it puts new wing in there, it puts a new wing description in, but now when I press Update, the system will run through all of your assets and it will look for any asset in location 12, and it will set it to being in the new wing of the school. So I'll click on that, see it runs through the thing, and it updates your asset areas. If I go back into the asset register, again, exactly the same. Down the bottom of the screen, there would be a printout of all your codes, and that's the codes that make up the areas of the school. But also there's a very valuable feature in that you can choose to print out a report of the assets that are linked to a particular code. So if I went to my principal assets and I said, show me all the assets in my system that have got an area of PRIN against them, I click on there and it shows me a description of all of them, and there happens to be none in this particular school. If I went down to, say, York, and I said, show me all the assets linked, it comes up with all of them. A printout of every single asset that is in the area York. And you have exactly the same in the locations. If I went down and I chose the location kitchen, and I said I want to all the locations list, I could click on that button there, and it would show me all the assets that are at the particular location for, I think it's the kitchen. These down here we will cover in a different video. They are more printouts. Set up all of these codes, and you don't have to set up codes you don't want to use. So if you don't want to put in insurers and suppliers and depreciation tabs, you can ignore those. They're already blanked out in the system. If you want to go into insurers, you can put in whatever information you want, remembering that it's a code number and a description. Once you exit the system, then exit from ProAssets. It says to be safe, do your backups. We recommend that every single time you've updated your system that you run a backup, and all you do is when it gets to this message you say, I want to close down, and if your computer name is long it'll warn you, and you can then go ahead and do a backup, which I will cover in a separate video.